Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Chauffepied and today I will talk about how to monitor your data core. So it was asked many times how do we monitor data cores and also what to monitor into data cores. So in this webinar we're going to talk about what to do and where to do it. So basically this webinar is divided into a few sections. The first one is it's the system health. The system health is something hardware related you can monitor and you can give a view on what's going on inside the data cores. The second section is the performance. So in the past, up to PSP1, we had just a dynamic view of performance. So we were able to see graphs. But now in PSP2, we are capable to record it. And it's important now because you can review counters when you want and when it's being recorded, of course. We're going to talk about tasks. So when you got tasks, you are capable to deliver an action based on a few things. It could be event logs, state events, or triggers. We're going to talk about the MIBs, and how to monitor, where to monitor it. We're going to talk about the logs onto the data cores and reportings. First of all, system health. The system health is a method to monitor some resources. So it's more like hardware related system health. So those system health are classified by severity. So we've got three severity: warning, attention, and critical. Then every single system health has got a timestamp. So you will learn into the DataCore world. Everything with a higher is on top and lower at the bottom. And each event can be sorted. It's a live GUI, so if you cure or not the problem, the alarm will go away automatically. Or if you don't cure it, it may raise from warning to a critical or to informational. So the resources can be viewed as logs, so it's easy to read and review. And by double clicking, you can have an entry and you are capable to read details of the virtual disks. So as I said, we've got three system health warnings, which are attentions, warning, or critical. So if you attention means okay, your status or resource should be checked and verified. Then you go to warning. It's if you don't do it, it may increase from attention to warning because let's say you got not enough disk space or whatever, your virtual disk is in log recovery. And critical, it means you need to fix this issue because some resources may not be available. Critical, you got a mirror disk and you lost the mirror paths. Warning, you are into degraded mode for the mirror recoveries, or not enough disks, or fiber channel, or iSCSI. This port has been never connected. It could be right, could be wrong. So you better check before it goes from attention to warning. So this is the system health check. So as you can see on the GUI, we've got the system health check. This is a live GUI. So we've got a critical. In this case, we've got not enough disk space available. So of course, if you drop down under the threshold, which is 85%, the disk space will go away. So in this case, we'll send you an alert. And also, I've got an HBA which is not connected to anything right now. So this was the SAN monitoring health check. The next item is the overview through the logs. So the logs, first of all, we're going to talk about performing logs and the tools. Today, we do have dynamic tools, logs, which are performance tool. So the performance are counters, and basically it was up to PSP2 able to display what's going on instantaneously. But when we had to review overnight or over a long period of time, it was impossible because there was no options for recordings. So for the performance tools, we've got a lot of counters for measurements, and these counters are all real time. So we can monitor either some resources. It could be hardware, it could be data cores, but also it could be virtual disks. So we can monitor globally the monitoring, or we can choose specific components inside the data core. It's very important because we can have both views, one global, one just specific to the item you want to monitor too. So we've got counters per group, per category, such as SCSI ports, hosts, host disks, physical disks, etc. But also you can change the scale. Or I would like to see it in megabyte, in gigabyte, in kilobyte. But also I want to see the uptime every 2 minutes, 1 hour, whatever. So you got various ways to monitor it. So as I said, we've got two ways. The global view. So in this case, we've got server 1A, which is physically displaying what's going on server 1A. But on the specific view, like here, we can see on the V disk what's going on inside this V disk. And it's very important because we do have the possibility to view globally or to view specifically. And it's very important because it was alive, but we had no ways to record. Now, in PSP2, we've introduced performance recording. So what we are doing in performance recording is basically you are telling us which counters you want to add or remove on the fly, and we're going to play and display either from the management console from your laptop on the data cores itself, and we can also extract the performance graphs into CSV. So now we've got a new database which is up to 10 gig to hold all the data. To your knowledge, the 10 gig is worth roughly 180 millions of counters or points. So in order to accommodate those 10 gig, we need obviously 10 gig of additional disk space on the data core. We need 1.5 gigabit additional memory, and we need one CPU core because it's an extra task to monitor. So this is how it works. So we've got categories here, we've got instances here, we've got counters, and we've got selected counters. So you can select globally all the data cores, all the V disks, and every time you click on a category, you will have a subcategory called instances, and you're going to have a subcategory called counters. And eventually, you will see the selected counters. Then when you click on apply, what we're going to see here is something being recorded. And now in this recording, we've got various items to verify. Obviously, I was monitoring and recording one VMFS called _1 production, and you can choose here the resolution from 2 minutes to an hour. Then, of course, you can move the bar here, and it will change here the scale and, of course, the timing. So this is how you can see the display for the recordings. The next one is the tasks. So the tasks are items received from the data core. Then from when we receive something, we need to trigger and create an action. So this is what we're going to discuss in this chapter. So the tasks are something you will use, or the administrator. You create a task, you give a name, then you need to enable or disable it. Then you need to tell us for how long your task should run for. Then do we need to run it live or with a delayed action up to 1 hour maximum? How to want to run it and for how long you want to run it. And each task is very easy to view and it's easy to understand and modify. So as a possible states, we've got 3 states. We've got idle, running, or aborting. So once we receive the task, after the next step is to being triggered by something. So you create a task and then which trigger should run this task. So this task could be through a checkpoint marker if you are using replication for snapshot updates. Then you can either do by system health monitor change. So when you've got a mirror down situation or an HBA disconnected or connected, so it's a monitor change, or by event logs. So if I've got something posted like vdisk or iSCSI or fiber channel, I'll resend a trap, an alert, and or you can plan to send this trigger every hour, every 2 hours, every day, or whatsoever. So we've got many ways to trigger something. And once it's triggered, which action is after the trigger? So we can, for instance, replication, when we receive the trigger for the replication, we can run a snapshot, either a group or single snapshot. We can post an event or log messages, or simply run a batch file. This batch file could be through pre and post backup, or simply PowerShell script. And we will show you in a minute how we can mesh complex tasks triggered by a threshold and add a PowerShell script for disks. And also, you can receive or send an email as a notification when it's done. Or you can put it with the reclaim disk capabilities for the vdisks, for instance. So if you do have hypervisors, you can say when you reach the 80% mark on the vdisk, I can kick a reclaim on the vdisk, then onto the data core. So vdisk on the host and data core on the vdisk itself. So this is where we need to do the task. So click on the task bar here, and you will see a new task. So you need to create. Then in this case, we've got the task 1. The state is idle. You will have this last start time. It was in 2011, sorry. And as you can see, it's fairly simple to see. And you need to tick or untick to enable or disable it. So as I said, we can mesh tasks with alerts and with actions. So basically, you create a task where it says, okay, I've got a task when I've reached my threshold into the pool, I've sent a warning, then I run a PowerShell script to add a new physical disk into the pool. And it's exactly what I'm displaying right now. So basically, you've got the task, you've got the monitor stage when it says, okay, I've changed from healthy to warning. So now I need to kick in the PowerShell script and I will add on this spare disk to the pool. So this is how we can monitor from either event logs, from monitor state change, and do an action through the PowerShell. The next item is the SNMP and MIB. So we've introduced in version 9 the MIB, so we can monitor now DataCore remotely through monitor and traps. So sometimes customers are asking us how to monitor and where to monitor and what to monitor. So in the demo I will show you later in TRPJ, I will show you both ways, either DataCore sending traps or the monitor TRPJ asking on such items the state. So the MIB is on each directory of DataCore. So C program files, DataCore, SANsymphony, and you should see a file called dcsw-ssv-monitor.mib. And by the way, our MIB is version 1 and 2 capable. The next one is the logs. So in the logs, we've got in DataCore now the possibility to view logs by level. So we've got 3 levels. We've got info, we've got warning, we've got error, and when we've got a trace or traces over iSCSI and or fiber channel, we can read deep into the SCSI commands. Okay, of course you need to read the SCSI commands. So you can sort them, but bear in mind DataCore event log format is US format, so it's all the time year, month, day plus timestamp. So the timestamp, of course, will be your local timestamp on your DataCore servers. So the logs can be filtered by category. So if you want to say, oh, I want to say just info or warnings or error. So this is where you look for and you can search and hide and browse, and it's very easy. But also you can delete the logs. So of course, by deleting the logs, you will delete them just on DataCore, not on the event logs on the event viewer on the server. So as I said at the beginning, most recent messages appear at the bottom of the list. So you need to scroll down at the bottom of the list to see the newest messages. And again, the logs can be specific to an item, an object, or global to DataCore or a farm of the DataCores. And of course, you do have optional add-ons, search filters. You can auto scroll, you can search warnings with iSCSI only, error with disks. So you can mix and match your search criteria across the DataCores. So as I show you right now, the global views are either on the DataCore itself. So in this case, it's server 1A. So we've got the specific view on the server 1A, or you can have a specific, sorry, it was a global view, or you got a specific view here on the vDisk itself. So if you double click on the vDisk, you should see the event. The next one is reporting and how to export the formats. So today, when you create a report, it's not dynamic. So basically, you cannot forecast and predict your report. So basically, when you click on create report, we create a report. So later this year, we're going to be able to schedule the report creation. But today, you need to double click on it in order to create a report. So this is where to create a report. And here you will see we've got a template of 21 reports. You can sort them by whatever report you want to run with or run on, with paths, virtual disks, hosts, and you can filter mirror paths up, down, mirror. So you can put pretty much whatever you want in terms of mirroring. So it's very straightforward. And then you will have a report. This report, if you double click twice on the same report, we're going to have two reports. So we won't erase one to replace and write over the second one. So basically, if you click twice and run twice the same report, we expect you to have two reports for the same report, if you want, if you know what I mean. Then, as you can see, you can find, search, map, zoom in, zoom out, but also you can export them. So the export is in various formats. So you've got PDF file, HTML, MHT, RTF, XLS, CSV, XLX, text, and images. So pretty old formats to be either viewing or reporting the reports. This is it for the first part of the presentation. Now I'll show you a few demos about how to look for the monitoring. So I've got the latest and greatest installed, which is 9.0 PSP2. And as you can see, we've got a recorded performance here, and also another one with the storage for files we're going to have in the next webinar for the profiles. But right now, we're going to talk about the performance. So before setting up performance, we need to tell DataCore which DataCore will be the recorder. So if you click here, Production SAN, you can choose here on each DataCore. You click on DataCore 1, DataCore 2. Okay, in my case, it was DataCore 1. By the way, this is where I set up my email, so my SNMP, and if I send an email, I should receive it. So you see a pop-up. Okay, test email successfully sent to me. So now my DataCore 1 is set up correctly for as a recorder. So here, when I go to reconfigure session, okay, you've got two thumbnails. The first one is info. So here you see DataCore 1. Okay, I've stopped the recording because I had more than 9 days worth of recordings, and it will take all the bandwidths and to index all the items to be viewed just for the webinar. So for the sake of it, I've disabled it, so it's idle. And I've got 9 days, as I said, as you can see, we can see the usage and how much remaining you've got in terms of logins. Okay, so this is where to set up, and here you see all the categories. So if you click on all the categories, you got instances coming up, showing up. So you can choose whatever you want to use. And you can use all or just vDisk. In my case, I was monitoring just the VMFS1 because I've got VMs running and sending I/O, and this is where I captured all instances for my VMFS_1. Then when you click on apply, when you do so, I've got this nice bar. Okay. So basically, you can see here we've got some toolbars, and we do have some points. So if I untick the resolution, okay, so let's say I've got this unticked, I can move from an hour to 2 minutes. Okay, so if I click on this one, for instance, okay, I will expect to see a lot of 2 minutes points. Okay, so it's very hard to follow. Obviously, it's easy to read. As you can see, I've got peaks, I've got latency, but it's fairly. So if you want to read like every hour, for instance, okay, so every hour on the same chart, I see here at 11:47, 12:47. So it's every hour I see roughly my graph. So as you can see, we've got here the bytes per second. So it gives you how many bytes per second. But if you do have lower graphs needs, like for instance, you can remove it, okay, and you will see like how many reads and writes per second I was doing. And again, I've got per hour my graphs. So you can add on the fly, remove on the fly. So when you add on the fly, this is how we do. Add counters. Remember, I was searching and monitoring the VDisks. So if it's 0, it was not preset previously. And if it's 2 or 1, it means we can do it. So like virtual disk, I was monitoring my 2 VDisks. So eventually, if I've got some data on my VDisk number 2, I should see something. But I doubt it because I had no performance on my VDisk number 2. So this is how it works for the performance counters. The next one is the tasks. So basically, tasks, I will show you how to create a task. So you go to create a task, then you give a name of the task, then what to do to trigger this task. So as you can see, we've got log message, we've got monitor stage, we've got replication or scheduler. So let's say monitor stage, okay? Then I say, okay, I want to monitor my VDisk. Status not equals healthy. So this way, if my VDisks, okay, are not healthy, I've got a monitor state change, then I will do an action, okay, could post a log or even send an email to me. Here we go. So now I will receive an email if my mirrors are not healthy because they're not equal to healthy. So this is how we do for monitor stage. Or I've got a VDisk here change when if I double click, okay, every time I see my log message posted and I've got the keyword virtual disk, I will have an action, send me an email. And of course, I see here a lot of emails sent this morning because I was playing this morning to another demo webinar. So I've sent many virtual disks. So many alerts. So this is where you send all the disks or change or the logs. The next one is the reports. So this is where you create reports. So here, if you click on reports, create. So I've got this pause here, create report, finish. So I should see a new report, okay? And it's a timestamp. So it's today. Right. Now the event logs. The event logs, this is how it works. You've got red, yellow. So I don't have a red right now. I've got yellow and blue. So if you click on one, you should see here what does it mean? What it means. So basically, this is how it works. Now, if you go here, events, you can change the level. Okay, I want to adjust the traces. Okay, bam, I've got nothing. I've got just warnings. Okay, I've got 2 warnings. Now you can search and browse everything you want in terms of alerts. Then what you do is you can search also by source type. Is it disk? Is it paths? Is it hosts? So you can search, is it my VDisks? Okay, antique VDisk. Okay, I've got my VDisk here, messages. Okay, so it means I've got a mirror down situation and it went up, it's now active. So it tells you where to look for, what to look for. And when you've got a long database in terms of event viewing and you don't want to scroll down and spend your time. You can clean the database, so you click on clean up the database. Yes, and here we go. We've got no messages anymore in it. You can also, as an advanced option, click on auto scroll or not. Now, in terms of MIBs, this is how it works. So I've downloaded a tool called iReasoning MIB browser. So this is the MIB DCSW-SSV-monitor.mib. And as you can see, we've got, I think, more than 700 captions, okay? It could be status, it could be names, it could be status changes and everything. So basically, you can monitor anything and everything, but you need to know exactly what you want to monitor. So you can monitor a state change for disk, for paths, for hosts. So in this case, I've got a tool, as I said, TRPJ, where my tool is set up to monitor both ways, okay? So I've got here DataCore 1. When I say to DataCore 1 or Mr. DataCore 1, PRTJ will probe just the mirror device, okay? And the DataCore number 2, I said, okay, who cares? I've loaded the entire MIB, okay? And here we go. So you've got 700 or plus, or 600, sorry, nearly events you want to monitor. So there could be events on objects, on OID state. So I highly recommend to browse through a MIB browser in order to see what you want to monitor to. So in this case, I've got two DataCore, and I'm monitoring right now the port. Okay, so the port is here, mir_1, and the port is healthy, right? So now what I will do, I will disable the port into one DataCore, and you will see the state will change. So the sensor will stay green because we can probe it, but the state has gone from healthy to critical. So I go to the DataCore here and I disable it. So before doing so, I will show you here in the system health, okay, I've got warnings, I've got attention, but not critical. So now I disable my mirror device, okay, it's disabled. Now here you will see in a minute, here we go, I've lost my network mirror, okay. Then if I go to my trap monitor, obviously it takes 60 seconds or so to monitor, or 30 even for this one, and you will see here it says, oh, I've lost contact with my network card, and from healthy I will change to warning or critical, okay. So I will try to probe, and you will see. So I do a rescan the entire sensor, or the entire, so it was up, okay, and eventually it will be critical. So obviously we have to wait until the trap or the MIB receives. But as you can see, DataCore 1 is still green, the sensor is green, but the DataCore 2, the sensor are still green, but I've got no idea which state change is underlying all this state, okay. So what usually we do, obviously I'm forcing now the DataCore to probe, and eventually here we should see so I don't know if I lost the window or not. So let's double click on it, and you should see it will go to critical. Here we go. So we went through healthy to critical. So basically, we've lost contact with the mirror device, and it's critical, and the sensor is still up, but it's critical here. So I should expect to see an alert, and here, if you look at the here, I should have no response whatsoever from the card. So now what I do is I putting the mirror back, okay, and I should see here on my DataCore, my critical alert will go away or go off, and eventually I will go into a situation when the TRPJ will receive an email. Here we go, it's gone, and the problem is fixed. Now it's all okay. So if I go to my tool, I should probe it again, and from critical, I should change to healthy. Okay, so as I said, I'm forcing the GUI to do so, but in real life, obviously, you have to wait. So, okay, so I better close it and see if I do reopen it, and you should see it's back to healthy. So this is how we can monitor DataCore. So it's both ways. You can monitor from DataCore point of view. So you need DataCore will send and flood all informations about the health and objects, or you can specify which item you want to monitor from the software, from the PRTG software. So in my case, it was the mirror device. So this is the webinar. I hope it was helpful to understand how to monitor data cores and all the many ways you want to monitor the data cores. As I said at the beginning, you will receive from our marketing the video or the link to download the video. And if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. So I will try to reply to all the questions. So so far, I will turn off the recording, and I will try to reply. Apparently, there was a problem on display. So luckily, this webinar was recorded. So if you do have some questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you very much. You can't see my screen. Oh, okay. So there seems to be stuck. So no problem at all. I will send you the video. And if you do have some questions, please hesitate to contact me. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.